the key of G minor. Ooh, I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue. Some other guy you loved before. The two of us guys, you know I loved you more. It took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine. Oh, I heard it through the grapevine, and I was just about to lose my mind. Honey, honey, heard it through the grapevine. Much longer would you be my baby? Boom, boom. I can't speed up the auto scroll. Why does it want to use my microphone? Why does it want to use my microphone? No, I don't want you to use my microphone. You can't just come in there and do this. So, yeah, so it took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine, baby. I heard it through the grapevine, and I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, honey, heard it through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be my baby. I know a man ain't supposed to cry, but these tears I can't hold inside. Losing you is in my life, you see, 'cause you mean that much to me. You could have told me yourself that you loved someone else instead. I heard it through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be mine, baby. I heard it through the grapevine, and I'm just about to lose my mind. Honey, honey, heard it through the grapevine. Not much longer would you be my baby. People say they need half of what you see. Now, with this is interesting because I've been doing some testing of my voice with the system Solfege, which is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and I'm not really any the wiser. You know, I could be like, I saw a great video on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the guy, but I won't bother putting it in the link to the description because you can find it yourself. It's Australian anyway. And it's got a video with Axl Rose and Prince, and no, not Prince, Mariah Carey, blah blah blah. Right, now with this you can change that key from, let's say I wanted to transpose it up, which is best for my voice, right? You've got to, first of all, you want a key that's easy to play. So what about this? This is the key of B, and so instead of starting on G minor, this is in B minor. Gotta work out with that. Doesn't matter where the suspended fourth is. Stop scrolling. But some other guy, with some other guy you knew before. The two of us guys. G flat, well, it's F sharp. No. Well, that is no good. But I can tell you that I have damaged my Achilles tendon, and it's not fun to damage your Achilles tendon. Obviously, I've got crutches and I keep my feet up. I've got a bandage, and when you damage a tendon like the Achilles tendon, which is the largest tendon in the body, then you have to wear inserts, you have to wear heels. Another really good thing to do, if any of my viewers, any YouTubers, not that, that's not a good thing to do. But is to put your foot in ice water. If you have any kind of problem, in fact, put it in a bucket of ice water. Salty ice water is really good. My doctor recommended that, and plenty of salt. Like how much? A bucket like that. I use that bucket, in fact, there with one of those full of salt. So nearly, you could put a kilogram of salt in a bucket like that of chilled water, and I hope I get better, and I hope I can walk normally again. I don't know, you can't put the weight on the front of your foot, you can't lift anything. It's an operation, it's a thing that sometimes could need an operation. You can need surgery, and you should have either in plaster or you have a boot that goes around it and holds everything in place. Because the tendon is, if you tear a tendon and a muscle, basically it's kind of like a tendon is like a muscle, right? It's a stretchy muscle that is quite, and then it becomes a muscle. And in the calf you've got two main muscles. You've got the soleus and something that begins like, sounds like begins with a G, gastroenteritis, something like that. And they need to fuse, whichever one it is that's gone. Maybe it's both of them, a rupture. If it's a full rupture, you need surgery. If it's a partial, if it's a tear, you need, they may come back together again. And if you have a boot with a false heel in it and you can't move your foot, you can't stretch that muscle, then it can cure the problem. But I haven't had a foot yet. I haven't had a foot fitted, a boot fitted. Why not? That is a long story, but I've been to the hospital, I've been to my doctors. The chemists didn't order one, then they did order one, then they ordered the wrong one. And the long and the short of it is that I damaged my tendon on Saturday, probably like the end of June, last Saturday in June, and it's now the 8th or the 9th of July. So it's been 7, 8, 9 days. 9 days of kind of using these crutches, which I prefer. These are called, well, they're called Becky, like the name Rebecca, Becky. They're called B-E-K-I in French, and they don't use crutches where you put them under your armpit. Those kind of crutches. I don't have them here. Well, they do, in fact, but I had to buy them, and I just thought, well. But I went shopping last week, and not easy to go shopping with when you're on crutches. And I ended up, if you ever do it, you know, whichever leg is your injured leg. So my right leg, I was left hand on the trolley, push the trolley right, crutch, trolley. The other crutch is in the trolley with the shopping. But I got a new special friend and she's been spoiling me, so that's good. But my cat, absolutely no help whatsoever, no consideration. I mean, when he was ill, I took him to the vets, broke his leg, right, took him to the vets, €130 bill for an x-ray, and some, I don't know, a painkiller, something to calm him down, and I massaged him and made him better. But when it's me, when the boot's on the other foot, no pun intended, he's in and out to eat, you know. I won't hold it against him though. He's, you know, he's got his plus sides. My cat, he's a nice cat, and he's a cat, so yeah, I won't hold it against him. And that's another thing that I could quickly show you while I'm here and while you're there. I got this radio the other day. Oh Jesus! It's a silver radio, and there's this nice switch here.
Qui sont étirés en arrière, la queue et les ailes. C'est intéressant parce que selon certains chercheurs, le terme pichou de signifierait justement oiseau.
But I've been using rather this at the moment.
Alors Patrice Lecoq, cette forme d'oiseau vue du ciel du Machu Picchu, c'est avéré ou c'est une théorie où on est vraiment sûr que c'est volontaire?
Got that out of retirement. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all your best wishes all over the internet. I've seen these things like get well soon, Jim, with your bad leg. It's really touched me. No, but seriously, when you have something like an Achilles tendon go, it is so debilitating. You can't believe it. And when you realise that you can't do this, right, with any, you know, the power in this tendon, and then you basically, it is worrying. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's a sobering thought as well when you lose the power of movement and you're basically handicapped for what is potentially 2 months. I'm doing my own kind of a recovery stroke, what do they call it, like you know, gentle stretching, gentle exercise and all that kind of thing. I mean I can go and see I call it a kine here, like a physiotherapist. But yeah, there's lots of rehabilitation, and anybody that's had an Achilles tendon problem or a calf injury will know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a fucking nightmare. And often when an Achilles tendon goes, if you hear like a, you know, you'll fucking hear it, physical. And I was in the garden running around, and there's a hole in the garden, and I put my foot on the front lip of the hole, and then I've got a weak ankle because I've sprained it numerous times in my life. So it's probably, if it had been my left foot, it probably would have stood it. I would have been able to, but the sudden, like that of my heel into the hole. Anyway, I'm going to upload some good stuff with some nice drums and whatnot. I've just downloaded Audacity because on my MacBook, I found a problem with Audacity. If you turn your MacBook off, or if you turn the computer off in a hurry, you can fuck up Audacity. Basically, it won't ever come back because it doesn't like being closed down. And apparently, when you open it on my Mac now, it says, I'll try and open it. It says Audacity is still running. Please close it. And I've done everything. I've deinstalled it, reinstalled it a new time, and it's still running somewhere in the background. Isn't that right, Chapette? So I've just downloaded it onto this, and I've got some nice drumming and some nice kind of like chilling out bird song, birds in the garden, all from before I did this. Basically, me and my mate playing a bit of music. So, anything else to say? Well, today is the day that many financial analysts found out that they're they're kind of worthless, basically. I think a Deutsche Bank is the thin end of the wedge. There's going to be lots of... If you think about all the QE that we've had and all the free money and all the easy money, why do you need an analyst? Why do you need to think about shares? For years it's just been buy the fucking dip, right? And FOMO, fear of missing out. So you've got lots of... There must be quite a few banks with quite large numbers of people on the payroll that they don't need on the payroll, basically. But hey, they get laid off, jobs go up, people unemployed, the unemployment rate goes up, more QE, right? Fucking genius. So everyone's a winner, apart from English teachers like me, because all failed banking analysis experts will become English teachers or DIY experts or plumbers, because you've got to make ends meet, right? You can't live with a measly pension of £5 million. You know, today, if you want a house in Fulham, you've got to pay for that house in Fulham. You want to send your kids to private school, you've got to pay for that. You've got the squash club, you've got the health club, you've got the car payments. You've got all those things that your extensive lifestyle, before you could just about cover it with your banking bonuses. But now they're reduced to the stakes of an ordinary person looking for a job. I mean, if you're a 32-year-old analyst, and you've just been laid off from Deutsche Bank or whatever bank it is, then good luck getting a new job, right? I mean, Morgan Stanley, yeah, Deutsche Bank, they're not going to take you. Goldman Sachs, they're not going to take you. Bank of America, and probably a lot of those banks are going to begin to get rid of staff, right? And why wouldn't they? Why would they need so many analysts to analyse what? There's nothing fucking happening. The markets are like zombie markets, and if I owned a bank, I would have already got rid of many people. I'd have found employment for them as, you know, good jobs in the service industry, McDonald's, working in bakeries, working for British like making cars. I don't know, making. I'm talking about cars. I saw an interesting Top Gear the other day. I saw an old Top Gear where they from 2003 or either 2007 maybe. It was a Toyota. It was a Honda, a new Honda that had come out with a hydrogen fuel cell. And they said, that's the future of cars. James May was like, this is the future of cars. And it's like, it should be the future of cars, but it isn't, because there's no money in it probably. So like the French government here, Renault, they've all quite deliberately gone into batteries. The problem with hydrogen, as I pointed out at the time, it's like stocking it, storage. That's the main problem really. It's a bit, you know, I mean, if you put hydrogen in a bomb, you can get, what do you get? A hydrogen bomb. But obviously you wouldn't have a hydrogen bomb, but hydrogen is a gas. It's lighter than air, and it could explode if you've got enough of it, I suppose. Interesting thing about air, right? Before I go, I've got 18 minutes on the clock here. If you put a big glass over the Eiffel Tower, the air contained within the glass would weigh more than the Eiffel Tower. And atmospheric pressure at sea level, we're used to it, you know, it's equal pressure all around us, is 16 pounds a square inch. And which is quite a lot, right? Now, if you got rid of all the pressure, i.e. you went into space, so messy that cat, then obviously the inside of us would all blow out, right? We've got this pressure on us, so we're designed, we've evolved to resist a certain amount of pressure. So when people say they're under pressure, they're not exaggerating, right? They're under 16. You can say, yeah, so am I. I'm under exactly the same amount of pressure. And air is heavy, because if you took an object like something quite strong, or in fact they did an experiment of like 150 years ago. They took two spherical spheres and they put them together and then sucked the air out. So they were held together by atmospheric pressure. Nothing was holding them together apart from atmospheric pressure. And a team of horses, this sphere was about 1 metre in diameter. They could not pull them apart. And in fact, as an example, the atmospheric pressure on me, on my head at the moment, and on your head as you watch this, is about, well, on a square metre, the atmospheric pressure is the weight of 10 cars. So let's say one car is 1,000. 10,000 kilos a square metre. It's a lot. Something to think about anyway. See you next time, when hopefully I'll be able to run again 100 metres in under 30 seconds.